Honorable Chair, sir, distinguished members of this distinguished House, August House, as I rise to oppose this bill, I would like to say at the outset, honorable members, that this bill is, among other things, four things. It is constitutionally suspect, it is legally untenable, it is administratively blunderous, and it is politically hypocritical. And I will make good each of these four heads shortly. But let me say at the outset also, with deep respect to honorable members, that this bill is about control, and more control by a control freak sarkar. It is nothing to do with the improvement of the plight of the citizens of Delhi or its hapless citizens. This is a dangerous politics of delay through delimitation, going to lead to disorder, disorganization and disaster. And unfortunately, the ruling party, which is moving this bill, wants to rampage amongst the MCDs, in addition to the above three Ds, to create also the three Cs: control, chaos and corruption. Now friends, let me make my four heads good one by one. Why is it constitutionally suspect? Let me concede in favor of the ruling party, the Honorable Home Minister is here, that 239AA of the Constitution, which this bill invokes, gives special powers to Parliament. No doubt about it. Even though you must remember that Delhi is the only entity in India which is constitutionally given a legislature. None other, not Puducherry, not earlier Goa, etc., etc. I will further concede that for three subjects, Delhi NCT can make no laws at all, as we know. Land, law and order, etc. They can't touch it. It's beyond their jurisdiction. And I will further concede that in the other areas other than these three, if Delhi makes a law, then the central government, if it acts on the same field, will override. Subject, of course, to presidential assent, which in view of the central government recommendation will never be given. So, I concede these 3 points in favor of the central government. But now, why is this bill constitutionally suspect, indeed unconstitutional? Why? Because, sir, we forget firstly that we are dealing with municipalities. That is the subject. This subject was created by a special amendment to the Constitution, a 74th amendment, with respect to 1993, pursuant to a high-level committee report called the Dr. L.M. Singhvi Committee Report for decentralization of governance. Secondly, if you pick up this Part 9A, Part 9 is Panchayat, Part 9A is municipalities, you will find that entire provisions, 243Q, R, S, U, it goes on beyond Z, all of them on the basis of decentralization give power to make laws only to a state government for municipalities. Number 3, even though Parliament has overriding powers, it has overriding powers under which provision, sir? Under 239AA. When did 239AA come? It came in 92. You overrode that by a subsequent constitutional amendment, the 74th Amendment in 1993. Now, where does it leave us? You have a later constitutional amendment, 93, and secondly, you have a special constitutional amendment for municipalities. As a first-year student of law knows that a later and a special law overrides an earlier and a general law. So, sir, I call it constitutionally suspect. It is legislatively incompetent. Of course, it will be challenged. But this approach of this government, कि अभी तो पास कर दो, बाद में देखी जाएगी, is hardly behoves a supposedly responsive or responsible government. That's my first point, sir. My second point, The second head is this bill is administratively blunderous. And it assumes that the Janta of India and Delhi eats grass. If improvement of MCD was the object, as the Honorable Home Minister has just said, and I'm sure he will give more facts and figures, then can he tell us how the admitted revenue gap of 2,200 crores just a year ago in these municipalities altogether, that is salary and other pension bill and other expenses of 8,940, these are official figures, sir, minus earnings of 6,725 crores, deficit is 2,200 crores. How will it be bridged by this bill? Is there a single provision in this bill, any policy which will improve this? So this is supposed to be a bill for improvement. Secondly, will he tell us how Own Finance Commission of the central government has recommended a devolution of 488 rupees per person per year for every municipality in India. 488 rupiya prati vyakti prati varsh. That comes, sir, for Delhi for the current year or year ago to 4,087 crores. Sir, did you as the central government give 4,087 crores to the municipality of Delhi? Never. If you check up, you gave to a lot of other municipalities. Not the full amount, but you gave, not to Delhi. Then, sir, it is estimated that if you add up what you have not given to the Delhi municipalities for the last 10 odd years, I'm only taking 10, 11 years, the amount is about 12,000 crores. And you are saying improvement? You are first starving somebody and then saying he should be a healthy, bonny child. You are giving him no water and food and you are saying that we are improving them. Sir, thirdly, have you said anything in this bill about why the municipal corporations tax for property tax only 4 lakh properties, whereas in Delhi the minimum count of properties taxable for property tax is 1.2 million. यानी 12 लाख, उसका 1/3, 4 लाख आप टैक्स करते हैं property tax. Have you, honorable movers of the bill, shown us that your own statement is that this bill will improve by garnishing an additional 200 crores. This is your own estimation. And the gap is 2,200 crores in 1 year. So is this an improvement bill? It is not an improvement bill. MCD, sir, we have to accept it. And I say it as a fact, when I started my law practice, we were told that DDA stood for Don't Do Anything Authority. It is much better if you go to their parks now. Sports parks are very good. Sir, if you call it MCD, the most corrupt department, MCD, that would not be a wrong acronym. Sir, if you put on the top of this bill photographs of the mountains of garbage, if you put on this photographs of this bill of the agony of the Aam Aadmi or the middle level person who goes to the office of MCD, then you will realize that this bill is nothing but political hypocrisy. Sir, मेरा तीसरा पहलू कि ये किसी प्रकार से सुधार का बिल नहीं है. ये राजनीतिक आडंबर से ओतप्रोत एक विलंब एवं बाधा डालने वाली चाल चली गई है. ये राजनीतिक भय से प्रेरित है. ये परोक्ष उद्देश्य इसका है जो स्पष्ट रूप से कहा नहीं गया है. नाकामी और भ्रष्टाचार से बीजेपी ने एमसीडी का क्या कर दिया है हाल. नाकामी और भ्रष्टाचार से बीजेपी ने क्या कर दिया है एमसीडी का हाल. यदि एकीकरण करना ही था तो क्यों लगा दिए 7 साल या 10 साल. इसका कोई जवाब नहीं है. जिस दिन प्रदेश के चुनाव आयोग ने घोषणा कर दी कि इस वक्त इस दिन हम घोषणा करने वाले हैं चुनाव की, उसके एक दिन पहले किस विशेष दुष्प्रभाव से आपने उनको एक और घोषणा करवा दी कि हम स्थगित करते हैं सब कुछ. क्या इसलिए क्योंकि मान्यवर क्या इसलिए मान्यवर कि आपने हर संस्था पर सफलता से दुष्प्रभाव करने की पीएचडी करी हुई है. और मैं कहता हूं कि धिक्कार है ऐसी संस्थाओं के और उनके अध्यक्षों के जो इस दुष्प्रभाव पे ध्यान देते हैं या उसके आधार पे एक्ट करते हैं. सर, 272 से 250 करने का औचित्य क्या है जो आपने किया है. इसमें क्या तो हो सकता है. क्या ये जो जादुई बटन है कि 272 से 250 करना एक यात्रा है कुशासन से सुशासन की तरफ कि 72 को आपने 250 कर दिया। तो इसका उद्देश्य एक ही है, अगर आपने 2 सीट भी कम की होती तो डिलिमिटेशन की आवश्यकता होती, और डिलिमिटेशन का मतलब है विलंब, बाधा। तो क्या यह राजनीतिक आडंबर नहीं है? किस रूप से 272 से 250 बनाने से एक जादुई छड़ी से ये पूरा एमसीडी अगर एकाकीकरण भी हो गया तो भी सुधार हो जाएगी, हमको नहीं बताया जा रहा है। सर, हमारी नहीं सुनते हैं तो कम से कम संविधान की सुन लीजिए, और उच्चतम न्यायालय ने जो अहमदाबाद म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के विषय में कहा था उनकी सुन लीजिए। ये तो विशेष है, गुजरात से है, अहमदाबाद। जहां तक अनुच्छेद 243U 243U का सवाल है, जरा उसको उठा के पढ़ लें। मैं कोट कर रहा हूं, एवरी म्युनिसिपैलिटी अनलेस सूनर डिसॉल्व्ड, दिस इज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन ब्रॉट इन 93 74th amendment, every municipal corporation unless sooner dissolved shall continue for 5 years from the date appointed for its first meeting and no longer। और दूसरा, ये तो डिसोल्यूशन का है, आपका केस डिसोल्यूशन का नहीं है। दूसरा, an election to constitute a municipality shall be completed before the expiry of its duration specified above। ये सीधा लागू है। आपने जिस दिन घोषणा कर रहे थे चुनाव के कार्यक्रम की, उस दिन आपने ये घोषणा करवा दी, और बिफोर द एक्सपायरी ऑफ 6 months फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ इट्स डिसोल्यूशन। एक्सपायरी है तो आपको उसकी एक्सपायरी, इसकी तारीख शायद मई में है, उसके पहले आपको घोषणा चुनाव करना पड़ता है। नंबर 6, जैसा मैंने कहा, संविधान नहीं पढ़ते हैं तो कम से कम उच्चतम न्यायालय को तो पढ़ लीजिए। 2006 में एक निर्णय है किशन सिंह तोमर, जो निर्णय है अहमदाबाद म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के विषय में, और उसमें कहा है कि ये 243U जो मैंने पढ़ा है, ये प्रावधान उच्चतम न्यायालय ने कहा है, ये इसलिए बनाया गया है कि विलंब को हटाने के लिए बनाया गया है। संविधान में चुनाव नहीं होते थे एमसीडी में, उनको करवाने के लिए बनाया गया है। और फिर कहा कि एक ही अपवाद होता है इसका, कोई गंभीर और व्यापक प्राकृतिक विपदा, प्राकृतिक विकृति, और फिर उसके आगे का है, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट बोल रहा है, भूकंप, कोई बहुत बड़ी बाढ़ इत्यादि, और ये भी व्यापक और गंभीर होने चाहिए। एंड द सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड, कोट अनकोट, इट्स अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इंपेरेटिव टू हैव इलेक्शंस ऑन टाइम। आप ये कर रहे हैं। मान्यवर, आप सब जानते हैं कि आप 243U को संशोधित नहीं कर रहे हैं, न कर सकते हैं आसानी से। आप ये भी जानते हैं कि 7 वर्ष से आपने पुनर्निर्माण करने का, या 10 वर्ष से एमसीडीज में कोई काम नहीं किया। आप ये भी जानते हैं कि आपने एकाकीकरण का नाम भी नहीं लिया इतने सालों से। इसलिए आपने चुनाव के 1 महीने पहले, 1.5 महीने पहले ये जादुई छड़ी घुमा दी। ये क्या राजनीतिक आडंबर नहीं है, जो मेरा तीसरा हेड है? मुझे याद आता है बाबा साहब ने, अंबेडकर साहब ने जो लिखा था एक बड़ी फेमस किताब, ग्रामर ऑफ एनार्की, एंड आई कोट, सर, आई डू फील हाउएवर गुड ए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मे बी, इट इज श्योर टू टर्न आउट टू बी बैड, because those who are called to work it happen to be a bad lot, unquote। क्या आप इतिहास के बैड लॉट में जाना चाहते हैं? मैं समझता हूं कि कोई भी जिम्मेवार सरकार नहीं चाहेगी। एमसीडी का एकाकीकरण तो सब सिर्फ बहाना है। दरअसल भाजपा को खुद की एंटी इनकम्बेंसी से बचाना है। इसलिए ये गलत नहीं होगा अगर आप इसको बीएनपी पार्टी कहें, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जगह भारतीय नियंत्रण पार्टी, कंट्रोल फ्रीक पार्टी। येन केन प्रकारेण किसी तरह से सत्ता में रहना है, संविधान का हनन हो या न हो। सर, माय 4th and last facet, it is legally untenable. Why, sir? We give the highest importance to decentralization. We give, in fact, decentralization is another name for federalism. Sir, 1 second aside, it's very interesting. The word federalism or federal is not used anywhere in our constitution, which is the world's 2nd or 3rd largest constitution. There is a word federal used for federal court, but not federalism as you, संघीय ढांचे की बात नहीं है कहीं भी, not a single word. And yet it is interesting that without using federalism or the word federal, the Supreme Court has held federalism to be part of our basic structure. Basic structure means that if you buy a constitutional amendment, take away federalism, you can't do it even then. Now, sir, I am asking this question that Parliament enacts 9 for panchayats, 9A for municipalities in 93 by the 73rd and 74th amendments. It gives a huge impetus for decentralization, local self-governance, pursuant to the L.M. Singhvi report on this issue. Para after para, 2018 judgment of the Supreme Court, Constitution Bench, 5 judges. I don't have the time to read you the paras. I'll give you the para numbers, those who are interested, 49, 52, 54, 56. They say, I'm quoting, the main purpose of representative government is to represent the public will, perception and the popular sentiment, unquote. Then they say, representative democracy, it is necessary that elected reps develop a sense of belonging with the constituents. Sir, by contrast, have you not driven a coach and 4 through this? Have you not decimated the spirit and the letter of Part 9 and 9A of the Constitution? You are governing Delhi's municipalities, the bottom level. Delhi has no panchayats as such, it's an urban. So the lowest level of governance, you are governing with a hukumnama from Delhi, farman from a distant emperor, with no regard to ground realities of decentralized governance. You are excluding the government, whosoever the government may be of Delhi, from participatory governance. And then, sir, why I said legally untenable. There is a very nice clause here in this bill you have got, sir. 2B, 2 bracket B. It says government everywhere shall mean central government. मैंने कहा था control freak, याद है आपको? Control freak सरकार. Central government, and you know this clause which you have put says it applies to 19 provisions I counted. It says this government used in 19 provisions shall mean central government. 3A, 5, 55, 56, 193, कौन से प्रावधान हैं? These are those provisions, sir, which provide for creation and division of wards, creation and division of zones, complete control over the commissioner, his own salaries, loans, general superintendence regarding building plans. These are words of government there. आपने कहा सब जगह उसको central government पढ़िए. This is decentralization. This is part 9 and 9A of the 74th, 73rd constitutional amendment. This is devolution of powers. And sir, before you abuse the late lamented Sheila Dikshit, remember, there was an India which was born and thought and acted before the BJP came to power. There was an India which born and thought and acted. This trifurcation, most people have not noticed this. The Balakrishnan committee recommended trifurcation in 1987, sir. जो आप जिसको knee jerk reaction समझते हैं किसी सरकार का, in 1980, I'm sorry, not 1987, 1989, the Balakrishnan committee. Then a Virendra Prakash committee recommended in its report of February 2001 splitting into 4 corporations. Then in 2011, a group of ministers of the central government recommended splitting into 5. That may be right or wrong, but it was not a knee-jerk reaction, and it has stood the test of time. Sir, my time is limited. Let me wind up by saying, with all these background, the statement of objects of this bill uses almost Alice in Wonderland language. It's long on rhetoric and short on substance. I have given you the amount of money you have deprived and starved the MCDs of. I have given you the fact that all municipalities require central government funds. And yet, what your SOR, your statement of objects says, after roughly 10 years of your governance in the MCDs or 8 years, you are the people there. You are able to say with a straight face in the SOR of this bill, which you are asked to pass, I quote, there was a huge gap in resources available to 3 corporations. And then you say, this gap has widened, increasing the financial difficulties of the MCD. ये तो बड़ी एलिस इन वंडरलैंड बात है कि केंद्र सरकार भी आपकी है, MCD में भी आप हैं. फाइनेंस कमीशन कहता है कि 488 रुपीस पर पर्सन पर ईयर देना है. सर, जस्ट 1 मिनट मोर. देयरफॉर आई वुड से विद रिस्पेक्ट कि ये बात गलत नहीं है कि हम आहें भी भरते हैं तो हो जाते हैं बदनाम. आप कत्ल भी करते हो तो चर्चा नहीं होता. Sir, when you talk of 272 to 250, delimitation, election postponement, do you talk of the corruption in the MCD under your watch? Do you talk of the mountains of garbage? Do you talk of the annual 2,200 crore deficit? Do you talk of the non-remittance of the central government funds? You don't talk of any of this. Where is the improvement going to be? By just making a jadui chhadi of 272 to 250 or saying trifurcation into unification. Therefore, I can only quote the words immortalized by the late lamented Sushma Swaraj. And I end with that, sir. तू इधर उधर की बात न कर, ये बता दे काफिला क्यों लुटा. तू इधर उधर की बात न कर, ये बता दे काफिला क्यों लुटा. हमें रह जनों से गिला नहीं, तेरी रहबारी का सवाल है. Thank you.